A couple of years ago, I thought making 1 million Swedish kroners a month, that's 100k US dollars, was impossible. Today, I feel it's inevitable. And what changed wasn't my skills, it's more my thoughts around money, value, and what's actually possible. So I'm gonna tell you guys a story. When I started out in the online business world, I went a course, and that was about 3 years ago. And I got to know a person, and we had some chats over the phone, and I remember one day we spoke about our targets, our goals, and our dreams, right? And we said that whoever reaches 1 million Swedish kroners a month, that's 100k US dollars a month first, gets to buy the other person a trip to a tropical island. I remember sitting there thinking that this is impossible, man. Like, it's gonna take 10, 15, 20 years until we get to that point. There's no point of talking about this, right? And at that point, I'd never made a single dollar online. And I was still living at home in my parents' house, in my hometown, right? Of course, that's what I thought, because the environment shaped me. And then you fast forward to right now. And right now, I feel like this is inevitable. I will do it, I will achieve it within a year, maybe 1 year and a half, right? But I know I will achieve it because I can see it all the time. I'm around people that's my age or even younger that makes 80, 90, 100k a month. And I know it's not even that big of a deal. That shift didn't happen by accident. So you need to get into the right environments. But in order for you to actually do that, you first have to look at yourself, because networking is great, but only when you reach a certain stage. Okay, I would definitely recommend networking in the beginning. You need to have some value, right? You need to contribute with something. So what I would do is just lock myself in a room for 6, 12 months or so, get really, really good at a skill, get the receipt that you are good, that you can bring results, okay, that you are someone. Then you can start networking. Okay, then you can start to get into these rooms. And that's what I did. I always, anytime there was an opportunity to go on a mastermind live, I always went, right? To speak with my mentors, to speak with other successful students of that program. I've been to so many masterminds that every time I go there, my beliefs just gets bigger, that there's so much more to achieve, right? And this is super, super important, that you don't grow into belief, you borrow it from people that you surround yourself with. Okay, so how do you actually do this? How do you actually get into these kind of rooms? Like I said, be good at something. Don't try to network with no value, all right? But then what's very important is that you do it intentionally. Biggest thing, move out of your hometown. Super, super important. Move down to Marbella or just Milan, or maybe, I don't know, London, whatever, just a bigger city where you see money everywhere. Okay, I come from a small city in Sweden. I don't see a lot of money. I don't see a lot of cars, even though that's not the main goal for me. I want to be able to be a person that can get one of these nice cars. It's not that I want all of these cars, but it's more that I want to be the person who can get those. Okay, you need to get into these environments. If that's just going on a trip to a really nice hotel in a nice town, just to broaden your visions, do that, right? Do that so you understand what's actually possible. And then also another thing is get into groups, all right? Get into communities with other like-minded individuals that also maybe had this small town mindset and now has a much better mindset, that maybe are even the same age as you and making 10 times as much. There are those kind of people, right? And when you meet them, you will understand that they are no different from you. They're just normal people, right? So that's super important. But the next thing there as well is that you need to break that ceiling, because I still, even though I make good money, even though I've been making 10, 20k months, I still have some beliefs left from my previous environments. Thinking that spending a lot of money on like some nice meat, or maybe a nice dinner, or just going out, or a watch or a car, whatever. Sometimes I think about it and think, wow, that's so expensive, right? And that's not uncommon at all, but we need to break these kind of beliefs. And one thing that I actually did that maybe I wouldn't repeat it, but I think it was necessary for me to do it, was when I hit my 20k month, in my first 20k month in sales, I actually went out with a friend of mine and we went to a nice club, right? And we got a table and we spent a lot of money, all right? Money that on my previous job I probably had to work 3 weeks for, right? But then we just spent it, right? On a night out. And honestly, it wasn't worth it when it comes to experience, but when I think back to it, it actually helped me break that ceiling that, you know, this, because it didn't affect me, it didn't have any impact on me at all, right? But I broke that ceiling that you can spend a lot of money. And that's with everything, okay? With when you go to a grocery store and you always look for discounted prices, that's what all you would do, right? You always ask yourself, what is the person who earns the kind of money that you want to earn? What is he doing? If you want to be someone who earns 100k a month, would he think about getting the discounted fruits, right? Or the discounted meat in a grocery store? Would he think about spending 6 euros on ice cream? No, of course not. And I'm not saying that you're just gonna spend money on everything. No, definitely not. But it's more about your intention. Obviously, you're gonna have to do it responsibly and earn more money. But it's important that we do this thing to break these kind of ceilings. And now I am in environments where it's common to have nice watches, have nice cars, spend a couple of grand on a dinner, right? I've seen receipts up to 10k, right? And that's what I used to, that's a good month for a sales rep. That's a really good month for a normal 9 to 5 person, right? And you're spending that on a dinner, that's really gonna break that ceiling, okay? So this scarcity mindset that a lot of people have, that is actually what's gonna keep you small. So just to summarize, leave your hometown, okay? That's super important. Get into the right communities, but before you do that, make sure that you have some value. Make sure that you can contribute, because just networking for the sake of networking is not gonna help you, but if you have something to give, then you will get a lot, okay? And then it will be normal for you. Then it will be normal for you to splash a grand on a dinner or a night out, whatever. I'm not saying you should do that every single weekend, definitely not. But I think it's important for you so you understand that money is abundant and it just comes to the people who spend it. Look at it like this, that it's like it's water flowing and then there's a dam, all right? If you just have a dam, then it's not gonna flow as much, but if you break that dam, all right, then the water is just gonna flow way easier, okay? And that's how we have to look at it. We need to spend in order for the money to flow. So, if this hits home, please subscribe, please like, and also let me know how this helped you and how you can actually implement this in your day-to-day life. So I will keep doing these kind of videos as well, besides the sales management stuff. So hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time.